25 drivers, 16 nationalities, 3 champions, 1 world champion. Road to Indy TV.
The field begins to bunch up. Stingray Robb back end stepping out ever so slightly as he exited turn number 3. Once we get through the tight portions, the confines of turns 5, 6, and 7, we'll see the formation beginning in turn number 8. Field starting to catch up with the pace car now as the formation gets set to begin. Again, it's our first race of the weekend, the Indy Pro 2000 presented by Cooper Tires. Tail of the field. Catching the pace car as now we begin the formation. And Rob Howden, this is one of the most thrilling parts of the race weekend, but one of the most daunting as well.
No doubt about that. Tough place to line up here as well. That 9, 10, 11 complex is tough to get through single file. They'll stack it up here right now, 2 by 2. Getting set to go. Kirkwood on the inside, Lint on the outside. 2 definite contenders to try to win this championship, which would send them both, or one of them rather, to the Indy Lights Championship in 2020. Kirkwood on the pole. The run down to turn number 1. Always sketchy. They'll work their way to turn number 11. Ladies and gentlemen, the first race of the Road to Indy weekend. Drivers lining up. And great jump. Green, green, green. Excellent jump for Kyle Kirkwood. Got on the throttle really well. Driver behind him, Daniel Frost, not quite there. They'll stream 4 wide coming into turn 1. Side by side. Frost, I believe, to the lead out of turn number 1. Daniel Frost leads. He gets to the inside of Kirkwood. Excellent start for the young driver from Singapore. But Rasmus Lint jumping into the fight here as well. Here they come down the straightaway for the first time. All the way down Lakeshore Boulevard. Hard braking down into turn number 3. Can they get through cleanly? One driver locking up a little bit, otherwise coming through cleanly. 2 drivers off, further off. One's got to take the escape road. That might have been Lastishkin. One driver having to take the escape road. Everybody through. Coming out of turn 4 to turn number 5. We'll have a look as they work their way up here. Give you a full field rundown when they come through. I believe it is. Trying to figure out who that leader is here now as they come through for you. Everybody's settling in, though. The battle now underway. Daniel Frost with the lead. The number 10 of Rasmus Lint jumps into second. Kyle Kirkwood started on pole, got a good jump. But Daniel Frost, a tremendous drive to work his way to P1. Big move deep there for De La Vera trying to get by Parker Thompson. Good battle side by side. It's Rodriguez. He's going to be able to get to the inside of Kirkwood in turn 5. You got to wonder whether or not Kirkwood potential damage. I didn't see something happen, but we do have a yellow being thrown down here in turn 5 as well. So yellow in turn number 5. Drivers working their way out here again. We'll try to see if anything's happened in 5 for you. Nope. Yellow flags were flying, but no one's stuck there at this point. Out of turn 11 again. Number 68, Daniel Frost leading the way.
Well, now Stingray Robb by Ian Rodriguez by Kyle Kirkwood. Nikita Lastishkin will get by him.
Kyle Kirkwood to pit lane. Kirkwood, your pole sitter, goes to pit lane. So an issue for Kyle. Started on the pole, coming off 2 race wins at Road America, trying to keep that streak going. We will not see a 3rd win in a row for Kyle Kirkwood to the tail of the field. Something was wrong with the car. I watched him wiggle in 1, then got eaten up by Rodriguez in 5.
And I wondered if it had something happened on the start of the race, but then that second time by, you did catch that wiggle. And for Kyle Kirkwood, still early enough in the season where this won't be detrimental to the championship, but it'll certainly hurt.
Yellow flag still flying in turn number 5, but I'll tell you who's on a run here right now. Antonio Saravalli has gone to P5. Saravalli from nearby Unionville has gone to P5, a good move to the inside of Lastishkin. So Saravalli in the number 11 has worked his way to 5th. Frost, Lint, there's the gap all the way back to 3rd. Huge gap back to Stingray Robb in the 2. Rodriguez then running in 4th spot. Saravalli up into 5th. 6th is Lastishkin. 7th now I believe is Parker Thompson. Watch these drivers as they come out at turn number 1, Michael. You're down hard on the brakes in that new pavement.
There goes Kirkwood.
Yeah, Kirkwood back on the racetrack, folks. But you're on that new pavement at turn number 1. You roll in so much corner speed, you get across that concrete, and the car just wants to push, but you've got to, you know what's going to happen. So you have to set up for that push. So when you see them kind of wiggle on the exit, it was when they get back to the pavement, the car grabs, those front tires grab again. You have to be ready for that. Tremendous run here for Antonio Serravalle. Started back at the 9th position, already at a P5. He's been the driver on the move, no doubt about that. Lead about 1.1 seconds last time by the stripe. You can see 3rd, 4th, and 5th stream through. Battle for 6th and 7th is Nikita Lastishkin and Parker Thompson.
Lastishkin and Parker Thompson. Looks like Thompson on the attack right now. We'll see that battle right there.
That's Rasmus Lint coming through turn number 10, 11. You see the car unloading a bit through 11. That was Ian Rodriguez who rolled through. Oh, way wide to the wall for the number 6 of Moises de la Vera.
Trying to keep Philippe Dennis behind him.
Yep.
Dennis was on the attack down in turn number 3.
Stingray Rob just turning fast lap of the race. Rob now 3.7 seconds behind his teammate Rasmus Lint. Good racing so far here in our Indy Pro 2000, the first of 2 races for all of our Road to Indy categories. We'll follow this race up and come back in a couple minutes, or a couple hours rather, with the USF 2000 drivers. They're going to be on track at about 11:15. That'll be their first of 2 races. But right now, some pretty good running here by Stingray Rob as he's trying to reel in Rasmus Lint. We'll watch their lap times. Going to chip away at it. Long way to go still in this race.
Whatever happened to Kyle Kirkwood on the start, that allowed Frost and Lint to kind of break away from the field, and that gapped everybody behind a little bit. But Stingray Rob doing a great job. You see about a 3-second gap behind he and his teammate Rasmus Lint. 5th place running, or 4th place running, Ian Rodriguez and Antonio Serravalle, as you say. Oh, big contact!
That's the number 6. That's Moises de la Vera. Contact is made. Hard contact into the wall coming out of turn number 11. Moises de la Vera, the Mexican driver for D-Force Racing, absolutely trashed that PM18. Massive contact into the barrier coming out of 11. You can see the car come to a rest. He's right in front of our vantage point here, Michael.
And you said it a couple of laps ago. De la Vera swung wide in turn number 3, exiting turn number 3, using up all of that racetrack.
Let's just say one thing right now. He's right across from us. The visor's already up. He's moving around to the cockpit. Those of you who may be watching on the Road to Indy TV app, Moises de la Vera is okay. The AMR safety team already there, as they always do. They get there so quickly. That was pretty hard contact for de la Vera. Not sure if we're going to be able to get a replay of it for you, but that was major impact coming out of 11. And we've seen that quite a bit here throughout the weekend. A tough part of this racetrack is the drivers are transitioning through that 8, 9, 10 combination. They're off camber through turn number 9. The car then rotates, sets it back up to be able to get through turn number 11, and they're always trying to squeeze on the power. And as I pointed out, de la Vera narrowly hit the wall last lap, this time not able to get through. You can see the AMR safety crew there with them, and excellent to see Moises climb from that PM18. Tatis built such an incredible race car.
Boy,
That's
damage on all 4
yeah.
corners on that. We'll see if we can't get a replay for you here momentarily. Here it comes on the video screens. We'll watch De La Vera out of turn number 11.
Oh, he clipped the inside wall.
Yep.
Wow, that's a hard hit. So as he was trying to get close to the apex of turn number 11, hit that wall, and you could see, not even just chipped the wall, he hit it pretty hard. It threw the car. Here's another shot of it here.
He had already hit it by that time.
Yeah.
Philippe Dennis right there behind him. Moises was running 8th at the time, but as Rob said, he was using up all of the racetrack, just clipped that inside wall. Just stayed on the outside wall once he made that contact there, hence all that left side damage. He hit it really hard, took the front and the rear of that left side off, then pancaked it on the right side and came to a rest just in front of us here in the public address booth, just at the exit of turn number 11.
So yeah, let's have another look at this again. Here they coming through. You're going to watch him hit that inner curb. You can see it just shot the car all the way to the right, and he was a passenger at this point here. Getting into the inside wall, just really trying to clip that apex because he got so close, I think, to the wall the last time, probably trying to get a little closer to the inside. He'll come right by the camera there. You can see the Tatis PM18 chassis taking all the brunt of the energy, and that's what these cars are designed to do. You want to dissipate that energy as the shocks, or rather the wishbones, all the suspension starts to crumple. Takes all the impact of the contact. Great to see Moises de Oliveira, though, climb from that race car. It was a hard hit on the outside of turn number 11. And let's say what it's done here. It's gotten rid of a pretty good lead for Daniel Frost. He was able to get out for the first 5 laps and lead nicely over Rasmus Lindh. Had about a 1.5 second advantage. But they'll stack everybody up now behind Daniel in the number 68 for Exclusive Autosport. Rasmus Lindh running in that second spot. In third is Stingray Robb. Fourth, Ian Rodriguez. Fifth, Antonio Serravalle. A tremendous run for Serravalle, the young Canadian, just 17 years of age. Serravalle out of Unionville, just a little north of the city here. Serravalle, the Passero Racing J. Howard driver development entry, the number 11, the red car. A lot of fans here this weekend to cheer on Serravalle. Nikita Lastishkin and Parker Thompson were battling it out for 6th and 7th. Philippe Dennis was, of course, right behind De Oliveira, as we said. Corey Enders taking evasive maneuvers as well to get through. Jacob Abel in 10th, Charles Finelli 11th. And you know who is going to get, well, no, I was going to say he's going to get benefited, but Kirkwood's down a lap.
Down a lap.
I was going to say Kyle Kirkwood might get another
lucky
chance.
break, but he's down a lap now. This does help Stingray Robb. After the beginning of this race, when Kirkwood got hung up, it held Stingray Robb up. As Robb went wide at the entrance of turn number 1, he came across Kyle Kirkwood there at the exit of turn number 1, kind of held him up, and that will allow Stingray Robb an opportunity to not only get up on that rear wing of his teammate Rasmus Lindh, but Daniel Frost as well. Ian Rodriguez running a great race so far.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I just got a note on Ian Rodriguez. The number 5 of Rodriguez getting an avoidable contact penalty with the 28 of Kyle Kirkwood. They're going to send Rodriguez to the tail of the field.
Wow.
The RP Motorsport driver from Guatemala, Ian Rodriguez, was running in the 4th position, but he has received a penalty that will put him to the tail of the field after contact with Kyle Kirkwood.
Wonder, and just speculating now, in turn number 5, we saw that local caution. Potentially that's where that contact may have happened because there might have been debris somewhere there.
And we saw that right before Rodriguez got that move to the inside of 5. And the thing about making that move in 5 is there's no runoff at all. The wall's right there. And if you climb over the inner curb, the car can potentially push to the outside of the racetrack. And we weren't able to really see anything that had happened actually to Kirkwood. Obviously not enough damage on the car to keep him on pit lane. They were able to get him back out onto the racetrack, so minimal damage, but enough to send Rodriguez to the tail of the field.
Well, we'll see when Kyle Kirkwood comes by if we can see any damage on that car.
So that's going to move Antonio Serravalle up into the 4th position. I don't see any damage on Kirkwood. He just rolled by us. Drivers, of course, working down behind the Road to Indy pace car. Daniel Frost had a nice lead there. So let's give props to a couple of young drivers here. Daniel Frost, who started in the 3rd position, got a great jump. Not quite as good as Kirkwood, but was able to make the move down to the inside and took the position in turn number 1. He was able to get out front and pull away a bit. So Daniel Frost, who has had a rough run at Road America, a couple of incidents there. He would love to have a good bounce back here today. Again, Exclusive Autosport, the team based out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, the only Canadian team here on the Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires. Frost looking to get them a win here on home soil, but also a tremendous run for Antonio Serravalle. Started 9th, moved up to 5th, and with the penalty to Rodriguez, will move now to P4.
Obviously still a lot of racing left in this season. What does this do for Kyle Kirkwood right now? Obviously a lap down, the opportunity to gain any more positions unless someone falls out will be rather remote.
Well, again, Kyle Kirkwood, with the momentum he had for Road America, a couple of race wins there. He rolled in here sitting 3rd in points, just 31 points behind Rasmus Lindh. He was going to have to chip away to get himself back forward. This has just been it's been such a stark contrast to Kyle Kirkwood last year when he won 13 of the 16 races. He hardly ever made a mistake, ends up winning the championship because of consistency. This will be the 3rd race this year where he has had an issue and had to come through the pit lane. So 3, not so much DNS, but back out on the racetrack a lap down.
And this one not of his fault, not of his doing. So.
And it hurts. If you look at the points, the way they run right now, he is way behind Rasmus Lindh. It's going to end up being 43 points as they run. That's
not over, but it's a lot.
It's definitely not over because you know he can go into any weekend and sweep the weekend. He showed it at Road America. Believe we're getting ready to go again, Michael. Indeed, out of the corner. Here we go. Back at it. Green, green, green. back in. Oh, driver almost spinning. Yeah, it is. That's Charles Finelli looping it around. He should be able to get back going again. That's Charles Finelli who looped it coming out of the corner. Indeed, he'll try to get this car wrapped around. Otherwise, we're going to have to go to yellow.
Nikita Lashchikin on the attack to Antonio Saravalli. They make their way down into turn number 4. Lashchikin is right there.
Finelli still sitting here on the racetrack. He's not been able to get himself righted here in front of us. Yellow flag still flying in turn number 11. We'll see whether or not they're going to have to go full course yellow here. He looped it coming out of 11. Here's the battle coming up to turn number 5. They're still racing regardless of what's happening. Rodriguez able to get by his teammate Kirkwood in turn number 5. Of course, he's going to let him go through. Kirkwood down a lap. Finelli still on the racetrack right out here. He hasn't been able to get all the way back around.
Yeah, they're going to have to throw the caution if he is right on coming out of the exit at turn number 11. We'll keep our eye on the timing and scoring. Here comes the field.
We'll get a good look at it when they come out of the corner here as well. Here they come. There's Finelli to the inside of the racetrack, right at pit out. So he's in a good place right now at least. So Finelli's going to try to back it up and get moved back around.
The reason why we did not see a caution, Finelli had pulled out of the exit of pit lane, so there's no way that he would be in the way of anybody. Here is the spin from Charles Finelli on the restart. No damage to that car. The back end just steps out.
And how about Ian Rodriguez just being able to sneak through on the inside? He got on the throttle. Rear end came around on him a little bit. He had a bunch of wheel in it. Back around it went. So Charles Finelli, though, getting out of the way nicely. He kind of got into essentially pit out, which was fantastic, and we are able to stay clean and green. Good start for Daniel Frost, initially able to defend from Rasmus Lint. Stingray Rob right there as well.
Best battle on the racetrack, Antonio Saravalli and Nikita Lashchikin. That is the battle for 4th.
Working their way through that 8, 9, 10 complex, that turn number 10, off-camber, right-hander. Power back through 11. Out onto the front straightaway. See if Parker Thompson's able to make any hay now after the issue. Front 3 drivers not that far apart at all. Philippe Dennis staying on the wing of Parker Thompson as well. That's the fight for 6th and 7th. They'll transition through turn number 1, through 2. The big run down the Lakeshore Boulevard straightaway into the heartbreaking turn number 3. Do we have a challenge at all for the race lead? Daniel Frost for Exclusive Autosport continues to lead it here. You know, I think the battle we may see could be between Stingray Robb and his teammate.
It's happening right now. Stingray Robb was all over the rear wing of his teammate Rasmus Lint. That was going into turn number 5. We'll watch that battle as it unfolds. He's right there, 2-car length advantage for Lint.
Stingray Robb 44 points back of his teammate coming in. He would like nothing better than to slide by to try to chip away at the point lead. Stingray Robb from Payette, Idaho. Solid young American driver. 2nd year here on the road to Indy. Make that 3rd year. It's his 3rd year in Indy Pro 2000. Did a shorter schedule back in 2017 with the old Pro Mazda chassis.
Well, now Parker Thompson's starting to make a move on Nikita Lashchikin.
We'll look at lap times here. Yeah, no doubt about it. Parker Thompson closing up on Lashchikin. Nikita Lashchikin for Exclusive Autosport. Both of their cars in the top 5 now. Parker Thompson's going to line up behind him. Watch for this run down the straightaway. Thompson right there under the gearbox. He's definitely going to make a move to the inside. Parker Thompson trying to get that position away.
Oh,
that's Stingray Robb making a move. Stingray Robb goes to P2. Thompson moves up to P5. 2 passes in turn number 3.
You talk about limited opportunities here on the streets of Toronto. We just saw 2 passes on the same lap by 2 different drivers.
So Parker Thompson was able to get by Lashchikin, but that's put Philippe Dennis right on the rear as well because Lashchikin had to step up a little bit, and there it is. There's the battle there. That is now 6th and 7th as Philippe Dennis looking to try to get a run here now on Nikita Lashchikin. But you got to give it up for Stingray Robb. He's able to get by his teammate in turn number 3. Stingray Robb in the number 2. Goes to 2nd. Great run for the young American. There's the gap down into turn number 1. You can see Rasmus Lint pushing hard right now. Had the car rotated a little bit coming into the braking zone.
We talk about the run of Antonio Saravalli. I'll say Parker
tremendous.
Thompson, once he got it by Lastishkin, he's on the charge now. He might catch the tail of Antonio Saravalli here in a lap or two.
That's the two Canadians now running in 4th and 5th. We'll keep an eye on lap time. Still a number of laps remaining here in this one.
Oh, Erasmus Lintz all over the rear wing of his teammate Stingray Robb into 5.
They're battling it out. Those two drivers for Juncos Racing. They won the championship last year with Renus VK. And lead the title right now was Rasmus Lint. But Stingray Robb trying to see if he can't chip his way back. Currently 41 points back as they run. He was 44 coming in. Rasmus Lint, your point leader, the driver from Sweden. Ran in USF 2000 last year. Very impressive. Got his first wins this year here on the road to Indy. Did not win last year in USF 2000. Oh, yeah, Parker Thompson definitely closing up.
We didn't see the pass. Lint got by Stingray Robb. I thought that was Rasmus out front. He got by his teammate for second place.
Obviously, very hard for us to pick those cars up. You got to look at numbers. Identical liveries. Indeed, the number 10 in front of the number 2. But look at Parker Thompson closing on Antonio Saravalli. Thompson last time by, quicker by about a half a second. Make that 0.3 of a second last time by. Parker Thompson will get into the draft. Try to reel in Saravalli. There's your leader, Daniel Frost, the exclusive Autosports machine. They've been winners here before, exclusive Autosport with Parker Thompson, ironically, back in 2017 in the USF 2000 when they made their debut year. Did exclusive Autosport, winning here in Toronto. They would love, I can tell you, Michael Duncalf would be happy to hoist the Canadian flag again.
Well, we got a couple of great battles, not only for second, but for fourth as well. Stingray Robb trying to reclaim that second position away from his teammate Rasmus Lint.
Oh, driver into pit lane. We've seen a driver come to the pits. Stingray Robb. Stingray Robb to the pit lane. Wow, trouble for Stingray Robb. That's going to put Saravalli up into 3rd and Parker Thompson to 4th.
We did not see the pass, but I wonder if contact between the teammates.
Antonio Saravalli now to 3rd, but here comes Parker Thompson. Thompson made a pass a couple of laps ago on Lastishkin. He's going to go to the outside of Saravalli. Here comes Thompson. Down the back straightaway. Parker Thompson looking to take over the position to the outside. Can he hold it? He does. Book it. He's through. Parker Thompson to P3. Saravalli goes back to 4th. Now Antonio's got to stay focused. Parker Thompson, a veteran driver, his 5th year on the road to Indy. Antonio's got to say, you know what, that was Parker. Good to go. I'm going to hold on to P4. Remember, Saravalli started 9th.
Right.
Hold on to this 4th place finish. It would be his best career finish. He needs to make 0 mistakes here right now.
He's had a fantastic drive to this point, and you are right. Parker Thompson, the wily veteran, an impressive pass. Oh, we have contact to the outside of the wall. Was that Ian Rodriguez? I believe somebody hit the wall.
Michael Young. There it is here. Driver here coming through. That is indeed. No, that's Lastishkin. That's Nikita Lastishkin. So trouble for Nikita Lastishkin. He has lost the front wing. He's trying to pick that up. He's going to pull the car off to the side of the racetrack. That may bring out full course yellow unless he can back it. No, he shuts the car off. So the car has come to a stop to driver's left just past the pit out. Nikita Lastishkin, I didn't see the contact.
It was coming out of turn number 8. The car went wide, the back end stepped out, and that left rear hit the wall.
Let's see if we can get maybe a replay on that incident. Michael, you were able to see it very quickly. I had just looked over at timing and scoring.
Oh, we have a car in the tires at turn 3.
Okay, a driver. That's actually turn number 8. Driver off at turn number 8.
Finelli?
That's either Finelli or that's the 83. That's Charles Finelli. Though we're definitely going full course yellow.
Yep.
Indeed, yellow has come out. Charles Finelli has overcooked it going into turn number 8. Tough part of the racetrack. He's nosed it into the tires. Still 9 laps remaining and a lot of time still to go. So we're going to stack this field up again. I'll tell you, Parker Thompson getting lucky here again. Parker Thompson able to work his way up into the 3rd position.
Can we give a shout out to Ian Rodriguez?
That's where I was going next with the fact
he
got put to the tail of the field. He has stormed his way forward. An issue with Stingray Robb moves him up a spot. An issue with Lastishkin moves him up a spot. Ian Rodriguez has found himself back in 5th. Going to get a restart as well. We know the speed that he has. we've got ourselves a solid battle here for the final, what will likely be, I'm going to say probably 6 laps. 8 laps to go right now. They're going to have to reset. Finelli's lost his front wing, so he'll head to pit lane as well.
And that's an easy cleanup. Lastishkin is in. They could just tow him back to pit lane. There really is a lot, unless there's some debris in turn 8. At Lastishkin, when he came out of turn number 8, he hit the wall right about there, and I think you could see where it brushed, and that pretty much knocked the left rear out of whack. He made it through.
Tough place to hit the wall too, because
yeah. I don't know why. I mean, he missed the tire barrier completely. I think he just let it swing a little too wide, and then the back end snapped on him quickly. He caught it, but it's just too late. That left rear got into the wall. You
can see that the AMR safety car here has been Canadianized with the moose antlers on there for you. Little antler action.
Did you call them antlers first?
I said antlers.
Antlers, okay.
It's my Canadian
accent.
I apologize.
Okay, just checking.
Listen, I haven't said asphalt yet. So
yeah, that's good. That's good.
Throw me a bone on that one.
Well, I will.
Let's reset.
I'll tell you this. Yeah, this has been a heck of a race thus far.
Daniel Frost was able to defend on that opening restart that we had early on. He's going to have to do it again. He had another pretty solid lead over Rasmuth Lint, because that battle between Lint and Rob was a great one. Now, we didn't see we saw the pass that Rob getting by, but we weren't able to see the pass of Lint getting back by, and to think that Stingray Rob, who heads to pit lane with contact, was that his teammate? I haven't heard anything about a penalty yet.
I think it happened in turn number 3, because I caught a quick glimpse of Lint, and I saw him ahead of Rob, and I had to triple check myself, and I think I saw that happen in turn number 3.
Based on our monitors, really hard to differentiate the two Juncos racing cars. You really have to look actually at the number, because, again, those cars exactly the same paint scheme and livery.
So you've got Daniel Frost and Rasmuth Lint been in front this entire race. Parker Thompson with a great charge to the front. Antonio Saravalli, great charge to the front. Yeah. Ian Rodriguez started at the rear of the field on that restart, has now worked his way back to 5th. Philippe Dennis, Abel, Enders, and Carl Kirkwood now in that 9th position with all these DNFs.
Well, and that's it for Kirkwood, right? He's trying to get himself back into the fight. As they run right now, he would drop from where he was in 3rd in points back to 4th in points, but still not that far out. A 9th place finish, and we're not done yet. Let's not say there could be some more attrition still. But we've seen a couple of good passes. Again, a great start for the opening handful of laps for Antonio Saravalli. He started back in the 9th position and was able to work his way up to 4th. That became 3rd at one point. Then Thompson was able to get by. And then you see, of course, a great run for Rodriguez. But for me, Daniel Frost really kind of showing things right now, as he has been the leader, defended early on that first restart. Let's see if he can do it again with what I expect will be likely 6 laps to go when we get back around. So let's have a look at the replay of the incident involving Charles Finelli, which brought out our full course yellow. Yeah, Charles, I think just a little too fast into the apex, missed it by probably a couple of feet, and to be honest, he did a pretty good job blowing it up and nosing it straight in to the tires. That
looked like one of those situations where the quick decision, do I use the runoff, do I try to make the turn, and neither of those answers were correct. You go right into the tires.
It's a split-second thing, right? I'm going to try to make the corner, or hey, it's not going to work, I'm going to do the runoffs. And when he got in there, you could see the car was he had full wheel in the thing trying to get it to turn. And again, full course yellow. Charles Finelli off in turn number 8, able to clean up the car of Nikita Lastishkin as well.
So we're backing Nikita Lastishkin's car into pit lane right now. AMR safety team there, CAA Wrecker has it on the hook. We're backing that in right now. Depending on how things go, we potentially could go green. Yeah.
I think we go green next time by, Michael. They'll have this thing cleaned up.
AMR safety team hopping back into the safety vehicle, working their way back down into their position in turn number 1.
You know, Michael, what the shame of it is like the drivers who we've seen have some issues were having really, really strong runs. Nikita Lastishkin was running 6th. A great run for him, potentially working his way to 5th. Stingray Rob was up to 2nd at one point, was in a great battle with his teammate Rasmuth Lint. So a couple of drivers, and throw Kirkwood in there as well, a couple of drivers we expected to finish top 5, top 6, end up with issues.
What does this do for Parker Thompson, a hungry young man who is competing this weekend in 2 of the series? He's in the Porsches. He's here in the Indy Pro 2000s. He's made his way up from, I believe, the 7th position, now running P3. Between he and Antonio Saravalli, some great drives for those two drivers.
Parker Thompson, throughout his entire career, has raced for that next opportunity. If he was able to win the championship here in Indy Pro 2000. We haven't talked a lot about it again. There's that scholarship to go to Indy Lights. It's worth over $700,000. He currently sits in second place behind Rasmuth Lint. He's got to get by Rasmuth here. Yeah. He's got to score some points. 30 points back coming into this Toronto weekend. And Parker Thompson, a little extra life here as he was able to get by a couple of drivers moving forward. First, Lasjushkin, then able to get by Saravalli. I have to think that Parker's going to be pretty aggressive trying to get to second.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
It's time to go green. Pace car will pull off this time by Daniel Frost will lead the field down. Rasmuth Lint P2, Parker Thompson third, Antonio Saravalli. Ian Rodriguez after the penalty back to P5. About to go green flag racing here on the streets of Toronto.
Through
6
10.
laps remaining.
Through 10, through 11. Back on it. If you're in turn number 3, get ready. Here they come. Great start for Daniel Frost. He'll see the green flag, and he is back at it. Frost down into turn number 1. Parker Thompson getting ready to set up Rasmuth Lint. Drivers all lining up, coming through turn number 1. Who gets a good run out of 1 through turn number 2? Here's that battle as they work their way down Lakeshore Boulevard. Is Thompson close enough to try to make a move? He is not. Not right up on the gearbox.
Well, Philippe Dennis is right on the gearbox of Ian Rodriguez. Dennis with a good restart.
Little block up there for Daniel Frost coming into the braking zone of turn number 3. The pressure being put on behind by Rasmuth Lint. Frost scored his first Road to Indy victory after 3 USF 2000 starts last year. Was able to win on the oval at Lucas Oil Raceway. Can he get it done here on the street circuit? 5 laps to go. 25 lapper for these drivers.
Oh, is there something wrong with Philippe Dennis?
Dennis looked like he stayed to the outside. That was coming through turn number 7. Who's coming through next? Potential issue with Philippe Dennis. We'll wait to see if we can see him coming through. Yeah, he was the last guy through, and in fact, he's going to go to pit lane. So Philippe Dennis to pit lane as well.
Oh, we might have a battle for the lead, Rob. Down into turn number 1. Rasmuth Lint all over the rear gearbox of Daniel Frost.
Rasmuth Lint getting aggressive. You can see how close he is. I thought Parker Thompson could mount a challenge. He does not. I'll give you this, though. Philippe Dennis, as we said, into pit lane, moved Kirkwood up another position. He's going to go to 8th. So Kyle Kirkwood benefiting from the attrition of the remaining drivers here in the field of Indy Pro 2000. And again, the first of 6 races in the Road to Indy here this weekend. USF 2000 drivers will be back on in a couple hours here for their first of 2 races. Little trouble there for Rodriguez coming through turn number 3. Back in, stepped out. That's going to give Saravalli a little room.
Rasmuth Lint up on the curbing trying to get around Daniel Frost. A 2 car length advantage. Daniel Frost over Rasmuth Lint. Will have 3 laps to go this time by when they cross start-finish line.
That's what I love about turn number 5. So many different entries.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to clip the curb, but you can climb right over top of it if you have to. Rasmuth Lint, the young Swede, putting the pressure here on the Singapore driver, Daniel Frost. Who is going to take it here? 3 to go this time by. Clean out of turn number 11. Thompson, Saravalli, Rodriguez, and then Jacob Abel in the 51. Abel wrecked in the first lap of practice. Only got 2 or 3 laps in qualifying after contact on pit lane. Someone actually hit him on pit lane to take him out. This is the first full session for Jacob Abel. He's running in the 6th spot. Turning good lap times, too. Only 4/10 off the leaders. Good run for Jacob Abel out of Louisville, Kentucky in the Abel Motorsports machine. His teammate Parker Thompson, P3.
Oh, Rasmuth Lint is there.
This is a battle for sure. Daniel Frost had been able to pull away on the other restart. He has not stretched any kind of gap at all. But will Parker Thompson leverage this? We'll look at lap times. Daniel Frost is going to start thinking about this race win. He's going to start getting on the defensive. When he does that, may allow Parker Thompson to get back in the fight. Through turn number 6 and 7 now. They'll work their way down to turn number 8. Very tough part of this racetrack. We've seen incidents there throughout the weekend. Good fight for 4th as well. Antonio Saravalli trying to hold off a determined Ian Rodriguez. What a result it would be for Saravalli to come home P4. 2 to go this time by. Driver streaming out of turn number 11. Run down into turn 1. There's the gap still for Daniel Frost, about a length. That 1 car length, though, not enough for that run down to the straightaway. You know Rasmuth Lint is going to tuck in behind. Here they come.
Penultimate
out of turn
lap.
2. This is it. Little bit of a gap now for Daniel Frost. Good lap there for Daniel. It was a 10th quicker than Lint last time by. He's given himself a little bit of breathing room into turn number 3.
Rasmuth Lint just about a half car length behind our leader, Daniel Frost. Another good battle shaping up. That's a battle for third. That's Antonio Saravalli. Ian Rodriguez all over the rear gearbox of Antonio Saravalli. 2 laps to go. We'll take the white flag this time by. Can Daniel Frost hold off a charging Rasmuth Lint?
Through 6 and 7. Back over to turn number 8. Frost looking to back up the win that he got on the oval at the Carb Night Classic at Lucas Oil Raceway. Really strong out of turn number 8. Gaps Lint by about 2 car lengths this tough turn 8 corner. Again through turn number 9 and 10. Out of 11. White flag will fly. Final lap here for Daniel Frost. Oh, big wiggle for Rodriguez coming out of turn number 11. Tank slapping for him. Lint closes right back up onto the gearbox. Rasmuth Lint needs to run down the straightaway.
You said Daniel Frost had such a great run, but Rasmuth Lint may be saving something, just letting those Cooper tires breathe. He's got a great run out of turn number 2. I don't know if he's going to have enough to catch Frost into 3.
Watch out for Parker Thompson, because you know Frost is going to challenge to the inside. He'll run that defensive line down the bottom. Not quite as defensive as I thought. Gets a great run out of turn number 3 to 4. So Daniel Frost leading the way. Antonio Saravalli still holding on to that 4th place position. Rodriguez now out of the fight. Through turns number 6. Good little gap here now for Daniel Frost. The Canadian team exclusive Autosport. Looking for a race win here on home soil. Pretty good run. In fact, a Canadian team leading the way and a Canadian running 3rd and 4th out of the turn number 8 complex. Daniel Frost has just got to navigate these final tough corners here in Toronto. Through 8, 9, now 10. Clean out of turn number 11. Indeed, the winner today in Indy Pro 2000, Daniel Frost. Daniel Frost wins his 2nd event. Great run for Frost at exclusive Autosport. He wins. Rasmuth Lint 2nd, Parker Thompson in 3rd.
I don't know what happened to Ian Rodriguez. Thought he was going to lose a position there. He did a great job battling as Jacob Abel was all over his rear wing for a moment. Great job, though, by Daniel Frost, as you said. What a finish to this race as Rasmuth Lint was all over that rear wing. He just set himself apart for the rest of the field. A great drive for that young man.
What I want to say about Frost is, Rasmuth Lint's the point leader, and he knows he's got to stay in front of Rasmuth. But Rasmuth was able to kind of, I'll take my shot, but he's not going to throw it away because he's got that point lead. But Daniel was pressured the entire time. Only did 3 races in USF 2000 last year. Great run for Daniel Frost in the number 68. I'm going to head to victory lane.
Well done, my friend. That's the voice of this Road to Indy program, Rob Howden, and a big congratulations. Race number 1 of the weekend, the Indy Pro 2000, presented by Cooper Tires, and congratulations to Daniel Frost, win number 2 of this 2019 campaign. Rasmuth Lint and Parker Thompson round out our podium celebration. And all of our celebrations this race weekend will happen just outside the Endicare Center. If you come out of the West End, just before you get to the Honda Bridge, you'll make a right, and you'll have a great time enjoying celebration with all of our drivers and the Victory Podium celebrations throughout this race weekend. Again, the Victory Podium celebrations just to the right as you exit the Endicare Center. You'll see the big stage there, and there's where all the Victory Podium celebrations will happen. Again, Daniel Frost, Rasmuth Lint, Parker Thompson, your top 3 finishers in the Indy Pro 2000 race number 1. Well, a quick run through our schedule. We have a very, very busy day for you today. And we basically continue on right through the day with nonstop action. Coming up next, the final practice session for the NTT IndyCar Series. Their 3rd practice session. It will be a 45-minute session. That will begin at 10:20. Immediately following that, more racing action. The USF 2000 race number 1. It's that first rung of that Road to Indy program. Green flag there, 11:20. Then the Porsches will qualify. That's just after the noon hour, 12:15 for qualifying for the Porsches. Immediately following that, the drivers you saw earlier today, the 2nd session that we had of the day, race number 1 for the final rung of the Road to Indy program, the Indy Lights. Green flag at 12:45, and then qualifying the big stars and big cars of the NTT IndyCar Series. How will James Hinchcliffe fare? Will Power, defending champion Scott Dixon, Simon Pagenaud, Graham Rahal, and more. Going to be a lot of fun to see that qualifying. Then Stadium Super Trucks, 3:30 for race number 1, Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama, 4:15 this afternoon, and then we'll wrap up the day with the stars of the NASCAR Pinty Series. Alex Tagliani has the pole, and he will bring the field down. Green flag at 5:15 this afternoon. And boy, what a busy, busy day we have. We thank you, race fans, for making us a part of your race weekend. And there he is, race fans, the winner of race number 1. A very excited Daniel Frost out of the car for Exclusive Autosport. Boy, a nice sigh of relief right there. And congratulations to Daniel. We will go to Rob Howden momentarily with our victory podium celebration. Congratulations all around for Daniel Frost, getting hugs from family and friends. A great job and a great drive for that young man as Rasmuth Lind made a charge late in the race. Got up underneath that rear gearbox, but Daniel Frost able to hold him off.
So we're in Toronto, first race, first win in a road race, and from Road America we didn't have such a great weekend, and obviously coming back here with a win is a great momentum, and I'm just super happy that I'm able to get back to where we should be, and hopefully tomorrow we'll get some hardware back.